Hey, it's Haley, and today I get to change your mind about what it means to be mindful. So I'm going to share with you my 3 favorite practices to keep me grounded, to keep me centered and connected to my source of power, despite what is going on out in the outside world. And I think we could all use some extra support right now. So if you are interested in my 3 favorite techniques to keep me mindful and grounded and centered, then keep watching. My number 1 tip is the power of your breath. And you might be like, okay, I get it. I breathe. I feel myself. I've heard this before. And I'm with you. We've all heard it a million times before, but no matter how many times I've heard it, if I listen to my breath, if I just notice where my breath is, where I feel it deeply into my body, everything quiets down. Everything gets a little calmer, a little easier. So right now, go ahead and join me. Just notice where your breath is moving in your body. Where do you feel your breath? And this is something that we all are doing unconsciously, but to bring that consciousness into our breath is what supports us in dropping down into that state of our nervous system into rest and digest, which is where we want to be. That's where we start feeling good and where we start feeling a lot more ease. Right now, a lot of us are functioning in this state of fight or flight, and that's when we get an email from our boss, when we get a text from our partner that feels confronting. It can even be when you're driving and something happens on the road that just kind of startles you. So we bump up into this state that gets our adrenals going and gets our breath tightened. But when we just focus into the breath, when we just listen to what is going on inside of us, we can easily learn how to manage our nervous system. And when we do that, we start feeling better. So this is one of my favorite ways to bring a little more mindfulness into my life. And it's just by listening to the breath. So some suggestions that I have to do this, because like I said, we're breathing all the time every day, but why don't we take the time to notice our breath, is I like to put little post-it notes around my house. And I actually have a friend who made stickers that say breathe, and you can put it on your laptop, maybe on the back of your phone. So every time you see these little reminders, you can come back into your breath. You can start slowing down and just taking one moment just for you. That's all it takes, just one moment. Tip number 2 is to set an alarm in your phone. I know it's kind of weird to use your phone to be more mindful, but we're all on our phones all the time. So why not use our phones to help us feel better? So I'll set an alarm 6 times a day, a silent alarm in my phone that has the word that I'm trying to call into my life. So that could be an intention like maybe breathe, maybe ease, maybe mindfulness, maybe love, something that feels true and authentic to you. And you'll set that alarm for, let's say, 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m. And because it's silent, your phone will go off. You'll pick up your phone eventually, and you'll look at your phone and it will just bring you back into that intention that you created for yourself at the beginning of the day. I like to use an alarm and work on the same intention or way of being that I'm calling in for a few days. So I encourage you to do the same, because it really starts bringing that habit back into your life. And when that alarm goes off, go ahead and take 3 breaths into that way of being, thinking of that way of being, imagining yourself breathing in that way of being, breathing in more love, more ease, more peace, more whatever you want more of in your life, and just take a moment for you. So this is something that you can start doing right now, and I encourage you to maybe pause this video, go ahead, grab your phone, plug in your alarm, because if you're gonna be on your phone, you might as well let it remind you of what you really want. Practice number 3. So this is something that you are already doing, but we're just gonna bring a little more mindfulness, a little more awareness into something that you're already doing. And you get to pick It's a free-for-all here, and that might be picking something like brushing your teeth. Maybe that's walking to the bus. Maybe that's taking an Uber. Maybe that's, putting on your earrings. Maybe that's picking out your shoes. Whatever your small activity is, you'll pick that out first to start. And when you have your activity, then what you're going to do is you're going to bring awareness into the activity. And all you have to do is notice what you're doing. And why this is so important is because oftentimes we're doing those things that we're doing every day unconsciously. So brushing our teeth, we're thinking about all the things that we get to do today and all the things that we want to do today and all the things that we like, oh gosh, I didn't do yesterday. And instead, I'm going to ask you just to notice what it feels like to brush your teeth, to notice the sensation that's there, to get curious about what it tastes like, to think about what is going on as you brush your teeth. If you picking your shoes out for the day or picking your outfit out for the day, bring awareness into it. And that means noticing the colors that you're choosing, touching the clothes, noticing what you feel, noticing what you see. Notice what it's like in your body to feel excitement and joy as you pick out what you're wearing for the day. And really, this is a simple practice of just bringing awareness to something that you're already doing unconsciously. So say it was drinking water. All you gotta do is notice yourself drinking water. What does it feel like when you reach for the cup? What does it feel like? What's the weight of the cup as you bring it to your mouth? How does it feel to drink the water? What does it taste like? What's the temperature? So really bringing all of your senses into that simple activity or practice that you're already doing, noticing what you hear, noticing what you smell, noticing what you see, noticing what you taste, what you feel, the temperature, all of these different things are a way for you to bring your conscious mind, your mindfulness mind into that activity. That's it for my favorite, simple, easy practices that you can start incorporating today into your daily routine. And really bringing mindfulness or being a more mindful human being isn't like reserved for the spiritually elite, or isn't reserved for monks or like quiet people that have an easy time sitting still. Like, those things aren't me. And if they're not you either, I want to remind you that you don't have to be a certain way, look a certain way, do a certain thing to be more mindful. It's really about finding practices that work for you that you can start using. And to me, why we want to be present is because we really give ourselves the opportunity to experience like the joy that is in each moment. When my mind is being hijacked by all the things that I haven't done, and I'm brushing my teeth and thinking about all the things that I want to get done, and whatever I might be exploring in my mind, I'm not there with myself. I'm not being present with the actual activity of brushing my teeth and how lucky I get to use clean water. And when we come back into this present moment, like I said, there's so much beauty and gratitude and abundance that we can find here. And life becomes a lot easier because you're not as distracted by the future or being pulled back by the past. And when you can be here, when your mind is clear, when it's a little bit more simple, you can make choices and decisions that are in alignment with a place of being that feels good for you. So again, please try out these practices. Remember to listen to your breath. Try out the mindful alarm. Bring some awareness into that one simple activity that you have chosen, and notice what starts happening. It might be a subtle shift. It might be a little bit more of a pause when you have previously felt a reaction build up in you. Maybe it's just like half a second, or maybe your mind just feels a little lighter, and that's it. Mindfulness is a practice. It's just like working out. We got to continue to practice and grow this muscle. Sometimes it feels like my mind is so loud and I cannot even deal with what's happening here. And that's okay. It's just like a workout where you're like, okay, like what really happened. But when you continue to stay dedicated to your own mind, that's when things really start to shift. You know, a month from now of you doing these practices, you'll start being like, okay, I'm feeling a little more spacious. I'm feeling a little more ease. And that is my wish for you. So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you loved this material, and if you just like this material, or maybe you're just curious about what I shared with you today, go ahead and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.